details that come along with booking in ADX. If at any point you have questions, do feel free to ask. And with that, I'm just going to jump in and share this bad boy, not that one. Hang on, I lost it. This one. Okay. So what you should be seeing is my Ensemble homepage. This is the Ensemble member portal. It's how you access ADX. I'll always show you this first. We're just going to click here to launch ADX. It's the orange box all the way on the right. And of course, I'm going to have to sign in again. If you get that error screen that I just saw, you just refresh the portal page. It'll sign you back in. It's just been a little bit too long since I was in here. And now it'll single sign you on to the ADX tool. We are going to start here in the air tool. Booking air in ADX is simple, it's fast, it's easy, it's all point and click. So if you're familiar with a GDS, a global distribution system, this is nothing like that. It's very point and click, very easy. So we have to tell the system, is it going to be round trip, one way, or multi-city? We're going to leave it at round trip to make it very simple for this first go around. You can do a multi-city. What is a multi-city? For example, I'm going to Italy in August. I'm leaving from JFK and I'm going to Milan, but I'm not flying home from Milan. That would be a round trip. Instead, I'm traveling my way through Italy and I will be flying home from Rome. So I'm doing JFK, Milan, Rome, JFK. That is a multi-city itinerary. We have to tell the system how many people are traveling. To make this first introduction super simple, we are going to do 2 adults. You can specify if there are children 2 to 11, or if there are infants under 2 having their own seat, or a lap infant, which is an infant under 2, but of course in an adult's lap. In the search type selection, we are doing a basic search. There is something called direct sell. I will not be showing you that today. There is training available on that, and if you ever have any questions on it, you can feel free to contact me. In fact, I encourage it, but it is a little bit more of an advanced feature, so we will not be showing you that today. Now, we're going to do our itinerary. I am going to do JFK, and we're going to go to Milan because that's just super easy. So I am going to go to Malpensa. It's the most popular, the largest, and we are going to go in, let's go in August. We're going to go the 18th, and we'll do a nice long week here. We will travel home on Saturday. So that's my departure date and my return date. Now you'll see these little slides here. I encourage you to use them. These are telling the system that you only want to look for departure flights that travel after, for example, 1 p.m. We're going to go even a little bit later than that. We're going to travel after 3 p.m. For the return, I want to travel home before 12 p.m. What this is going to do is narrow what the system has to look for so it can provide more results that match these selections. It's called filtering. Now what I'm going to do is look at my cabin type. We can start with economy and move our way up to premium for business and first class. I'm going to start with premium economy. Granted, you're going to probably have lots of clients out there who travel in economy, and that's fine. I want to show you premium economy because I want to talk commission. ADX is all about increasing your revenue, increasing your potential earnings. We want to save you time. We want to make booking easy. We also want to make you money. So I'm going to start by looking at premium economy. And if we change our mind later, we can always take a look at economy as well. You can also tell the system to route via specific cities. So if we know that the client is interested in a flight that has a stop, we can say route via London, route via Paris, route via Amsterdam, whatever we want to route via. I'm interested in looking at nonstops, so I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to click nonstop. I'm going to leave my fare options open. I'm fine if it's a non-flexible or if it's a restricted fare option. This usually means if it's refundable or not. I'm also going to make sure that my hide basic economy filter is on. Now, I just did a training earlier today where they were questioning why they couldn't see the basic economy options. If you're interested in selling basic economy, then you just want to make sure that this is no filter applied. But I do warn you, and I do encourage you against selling basic economy. If your clients are interested in basic economy, then let them know that you have a fee. If your clients are interested in basic economy, then let them know that you encourage them to book that themselves. I'm not trying to take money out of your pocket. I'm not encouraging you to send clients away. I am encouraging you to know your worth. Basic economy is the most basic of airfares, and they could do that themselves because, I mean, why would they incur your fee if they're trying to do the most basic of flights, right? We all know what basic economy includes. Nothing. It includes nothing. It's your seat, and it's barely that because you can't pre-select your seat prior to check-in. So please be aware of the restrictions around basic economy and make sure your client knows what they're asking for when they ask for basic economy. Okay. At this point, it's okay to click search, and the system is going to filter through two GDS inventories. We look at Sabre and we look at Amadeus. It's going to filter through both of those and it's going to show me my search results now. What we're seeing here is, I like to call this the quick select matrix or the quick select grid. This very easily lets you identify what airlines have returned and what kind of offerings they have. If I hadn't pre-selected nonstop at the beginning, we might see our one-stop and two-stop options. But here we've got a general overview. These are the basic economy prices. They sometimes are. Right now they're not, so they're good. Actually, these are your economy prices, excuse me. If we were to look at this flexible date grid, this would show economy and basic economy prices. So we do have to be careful when looking at that. But the flexible date grid can be useful to you. It does show dates plus or minus 3 days of what you've originally selected and shows the price difference. So here we say we've selected Monday, August 18th, and we're returning Saturday, August 23rd. If we returned 1 day earlier, we would save just over 200 bucks. If we returned 2 days earlier, we would save, just over $300. So it's giving you a general idea of what we're looking at. If we went the 17th to the 22nd instead, we're saving a ton of money. And then red is more expensive. This probably means that there's only business available or flexible options available. And black is the same exact price. So if we went on Monday but came back on Sunday, we're spending the same amount of money as if we were to keep the original itinerary. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down and start taking a look at my options here. I'm going to remove the Amadeus options, and I highly recommend that whenever given the opportunity, you do look at removing Amadeus. And the reason why is when you select a Sabre itinerary, you are given an alternate fare table at the end. I'm going to show you what that looks like. It might not matter to you. If you're selecting an itinerary that is only bookable in Amadeus, then fine. If you're selecting an itinerary where it doesn't matter if you see the alternate fares, then fine. But if you're not sure about what the alternate fares look like, it's good to be able to visualize it and see it for your clients. So I'm going to uncheck Amadeus. I'm also going to take a look at the So Sorry. Just going to remove that. I'm also going to take a look at the estimated commission column here. If you log into ADX and you start looking through and doing a search and you say, man, I could have sworn she told me I could get commission, but I don't see it anywhere, I want you to move your mouse up to the top right corner and make sure that this icon that I've changed to green and black does not look like that. If you don't see this commission column and your eyeball looks like this, click the eye and the commission will automatically reappear. This toggles the commission display and markups on and off. This is useful if you want to take a quick screenshot of a page, if you're doing a screen share with a client, or if you have a client sitting next to you or across from you and they say, hey, just flip it around and we'll do it together. You toggle that off and then you've got a general view that anybody can look at. So we're going to come over here. I'm going to sort this highest to lowest by clicking on the sort commission button twice, just so that we can get an idea of what we're looking at. Refundable, I think this is Delta One. Yep, refundable Delta One is going to be $15,000 per person, but it's 20% commissionable. But we don't want that. We already know that they want premium economy. So we're going to come down here. We see British, Iberia, Delta Premium Select, and American Airlines. These are two fairly good options, 16 and 10%. Now, at this point, it's brand loyalty and it's up to your client what they're spending, right? If they say, I want Delta, you say, okay, I can get you 3,398 on Delta. If they say, I want the lowest possible price, then we're going to look at the American Airlines options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the American option. I can expand the details to see what the class of services, the departure and arrival times, the duration. This is useful if there's a layover. And I'm going to go ahead and click Add, and it's going to push me into my next set of options, which is my return. Now you'll notice there's significantly less options now than there were for the departure. ADX is designed to prevent what's called a debit memo. What is a debit memo? It is a penalty that is given from the airline for breaking their rules. This can be done in many different ways. It can be done on commission calculation or fare calculation. It can be done by marrying segments that aren't supposed to go together. So for example, taking my first option here and then putting it with another leg that isn't supposed to go together. Airlines truly frown upon that. Those are just some options that could get you a debit memo, but we prevent that. So what we have done is pulled only return options that can be married with the option you have already selected. I'm going to stick with the American Airlines option simply because I know British, even though it's premium economy, you still have to purchase your seats. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add. And what we're going to land on is a summary screen. So this is going to show you all city pairs that you've already selected. And then underneath that, we see, as promised, our alternate fares table. So right now we're looking at premium economy. If there were economy fares available, sometimes they do show. We do see our flexible premium economy, our flagship business, which isn't that far off, and we see our flagship business plus, and then there's an option, the flagship business flexible. We can compare these very easily across the board in price. And then sometimes we see here that this is 10%. It does say air support review. This is going to be we're looking at approximately $140 per ticket, which is, about was 280 in commission. The air team is going to review that and make sure it does match up with the contract so that you don't get a debit memo. It might be slightly higher, it might be slightly lower, it might be the exact same. Then we see the premium economy flexible. It's not that far off. We could opt to bump them up and say, hey, if you pay $300 more per person, you'll have the option to get a fully refundable ticket, or it's a flexible ticket. And you can click on this to see what that means. Refundable ticket is in the flexible column. They're going to get that refunded fully. Down at the bottom, I've clicked on this price and luggage details button. That's how I got the fare breakdown. If we scroll down, we'll also see that 2 pieces of luggage are included per person. And then we also have access to the fare rules table, which will allow us to see the penalties and note whether or not it is refundable, or if it's changeable, or if there's a penalty. Now, let's say you want to offer multiple options. Maybe you want to see the Delta option, or maybe you want to check and see if there's an option with a stop because maybe they don't want to fly 8 hours, 9 hours in total, and they want to get off and stretch their legs. Completely understandable. We're going to click this little plus sign at the top. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave it as premium economy, but I'm going to get rid of my nonstop and I'm going to click maximum one stop and I'm going to search for this. Now, this is considered a modification. So it's going to take a little bit longer to push that search through, or it feels like a little bit longer, especially when I'm talking to you lovely people. But it's going to pull up a whole new search for me without losing my initial selection. We're going to scroll past this and we're going to select one stop here from my quick select. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a look. I'm going to try to avoid long connections. Terminal changes aren't too bad depending on where they're changing. And we're going to take a look at what my options are. It's actually cheaper. So we're going to take this option with a layover in Madrid. Let's see how long it is. 3 hours, a decent layover. Great, enough time to go through customs because you will have to go through customs, and then enough time to make your way towards your new terminal and get to your gate. So we're going to go ahead and select this one. And then we're going to click on this advisory column again. We're going to get rid of those airport changes. We don't want to change airports. And we're going to make sure there's no long connections as well, because we got to go home. It's exhausting. And we're going to take this American Airlines option. Yes, it's about $10 more than the British, but again, you're booking directly on American and you're going to be able to select your seats with that premium economy fare. So we're going to go ahead and select that. And now instead of one option on my summary screen, we're going to see two. We'll see that 4,937, which is your premium economy with no stops, and that 3,500, which is your premium economy with one stop. So now what we're going to do is scroll down. We'll see our alternate fares tables again, and we'll see that it's about 16%, and it does give you the calculation. It's approximately $212. And instead of clicking quote or book, we are going to click quote all. What this is going to do is pull both options into a trip for me. That way I can put it into a comparison table and provide that to my client to see the difference. So we've got both options here. And down at the bottom, we see compare services, and we're going to compare our flights. This is a customizable document, so we're just going to scroll down. They're both American Airlines. They're both premium economy. So I am just going to display the airfare brand information for one of them. And then what I'm going to do is click Save so that populates on my preview. This document can include your logo if you've embedded it into your account. And then it's got a side-by-side comparison of the two options. We know that both are New York to Milan, so we're going to go ahead and hide that row. Maybe your client doesn't care what the per person breakdown is, but we can go ahead and hide that too if we want. Then we've got the total. Then you've got your economy class listed out. You've got your baggage listed out. We know it's American, and you've got your fare rules. I highly recommend not hiding that. And then you can choose to add notes in here. Then you've got your side-by-side itinerary. You've got your nonstop and you've got your one-stop, and it's a really great visual of the difference in itinerary. They can see, yes, this is less money, but I've got 3 hours in Madrid. Do I really need to stretch my legs, or should I just, walk around the plane? And then the same thing for your return. We've got that 2 hour and 20-minute layover in Heathrow. It's a pretty decent amount of time. Do I really need that, or do I just want to stretch my legs on the plane? You can download this. It's an immediate download. It just takes a tiny bit of time to render. And then once it's downloaded, you can attach this to your own email and send it directly to the client, giving them a very nice visual overview of their itinerary options. And you can have a maximum of 4 itinerary options on a single document. I've also included that premium economy table so they can see what they're getting. If you were offering an economy, a premium economy, a business, you would include all 3 tables. They don't do side by side, they do one after the other. But again, it's a nice visual of what's included in their fare. Any questions so far? Okay. If you do have questions, do feel free to put them in the chat, or if you can come off mute, you want to ask the question, do feel free to do that. So we're just going to go back to our itinerary. I am going to remove the nonstop. I'm going to remove the one stop, excuse me. Even though the nonstop was 10%, and you're going to get a little bit more money with the, let's see, don't remember which, this one is the nonstop. So you're going to get a little bit more money, like I said, versus the one stop, but it's more convenient for the client. So we are going to keep the nonstop, right? Trip. So we're just going to view those details and make sure we get rid of this one. So this is the one with the layover in Madrid. We're going to click remove. We're going to get a little bit more money with the nonstop, and we're going to be happy about that. So here we see 2,800 plus taxes and fees. We've got a total fare of 49.37. Now we're going to go ahead and add a hotel. Just like we did last time, we're going to click Add ADX Service and we're going to add hotel. I'm going to pop in Milan. We're going to make sure that this is the correct dates because it doesn't take into account overnight flights. And I'm just going to select a hotel. And this is just for the itinerary. We've already done a hotel training, so I'm going to move through this part pretty fast. But I am going to want to add a client and we're going to want to book the air and ticket the air. So this is just for the itinerary. We're going to go ahead and select. And now we're going to, great, select. And again, this is just for the itinerary. If you do have questions about hotels, do feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to go through it with you. I have a really nice cheat sheet on the rate codes. We did hotels the last time we were together. So I think Tyra should have that recording, but do feel free to chat with me about hotels. So now I'm going to book my air. First, I'm going to add my client. So I'm going to click on the Client and Traveler tab. I'm going to add a client that already exists. To add one that doesn't exist, you're just going to click Create New Client, and you're going to populate those details in. The system will tell you what's required, so just follow that along. But for now, we're just going to do the Smiths family. We're going to add Mr. Smith. We have to tell the system if Mr. Smith is one of the travelers or if he is just paying for the trip. So I'm going to indicate that he is one of the traveler. It's going to fill in his details in the first box here. Then I'm going to select a companion of Mr. Smith's that I have saved, and that is going to be his wife. And then I'm going to click Save. Make sure you click Save if you do it from the screen. If you don't, it will delete your information and you will have to do it again. Okay, so we're just going to verify that travelers have been assigned. Good, both Mr. and Mrs. Smith have been assigned. And I'm going to verify that at least Mr. Smith, nope, we're just going to assign Mr. Smith to this service. That way, when we go to book everything, we're able to do that in just one easy shot. Okay, so now we are going to book our air. To book our air, we're just going to click the book button. Booking allows you to hold the air inventory without putting down a credit card. You are able to temporarily reserve inventory without paying for it. This system is always going to tell you if the price has changed. So if your price has not changed, you'll get this green banner that's telling you that the flight is still available. If the price has changed, you'll get an orange banner letting you know that the flight is still available, but the price has changed. And if the flight is no longer available, you'll get a red banner letting you know that the flight is no longer available. So I'm going to scroll down. Instead of clicking quote, I am going to click book this time. Again, it's just going to hold inventory. We are not going to hold price. We're going to verify that our traveler details are in here. And then at the bottom, I'm going to click book only. Ticketing requires a credit card. We do have to verify that their names match their government issued IDs, and then we click continue. Once it's booked, we will get a ticketing deadline. We will also have the indication that the fare is not guaranteed until paid for. We never guarantee price until it has been ticketed. The airlines have dynamic pricing rules, and until you have paid for the flight, that price is subject to change. So, our flight is now partially booked. We do have that inventory on hold, and to prove that, we've got a PNR number from Sabre, and we've got our confirmation number from American. This is useless. Nothing is ticketed. We've also got our ticketing deadline. We have until the 10th of April, very nice, at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time to ticket this, or the system will automatically release the inventory back into the pool, and you'll have to start all over. We also note that the fare is not guaranteed and is subject to change until ticketed. You will note that there are no ticket numbers. We can, however, select our seats. So we're going to go ahead up here and click on our seat plan. Because it's a premium economy ticket and the seat selection is included, we are able to pre-select those seats. So we are just going to grab these two seats. Oh, it's a bulkhead. You know what? We're going to grab that. Okay. We should be able to do both sets at the same time. I did have a problem with this earlier, so let's see if it saves it. It did not save it. All right, so we're going to do the first section first. We might have to do, if you encounter where it doesn't save it, you just have to do one seat selection and then go back in and do the second seat selection. Because I did encounter this earlier where the seat selection did not, oh, it did. Good. Amazing. So we've got both selections saved. And this does appear on the itinerary. So now we have two options. We can send an itinerary. We can send an itinerary with a payment link offering the service for them to put their credit card details in, or we can choose to ticket the flight on their behalf and pop the credit card number in for them. I'm going to show you the itinerary first. So we're going to click on Send Itinerary down at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to come down to where it says Customize Client Itinerary. I am including our 24/7 support service. I've got our flight included, I've got the hotel included, and I've got my own air planning fee in there. What I'm going to do is set an expiration date for the 9th at 11 a.m. And then I'm going to just make sure that this is nice and neat. And then we're going to download this so I can show you what the client payment link looks like, just like I did for hotels. So we're going to click download. And while that is downloading, I'll scroll through the preview, but you've got your nice cover page, which is customizable. Your trip name is also customizable. This pulls from the services you initially started out with. Then we've got our executive summary on the PDF download. This is where our Pay Now button would appear, but we have our flight. One second. There it is. So I'm just going to open that Pay Now button in a new tab, but you have your flight details, you have your hotel details, and you have your flight details. And then in your detailed section, again, the flight details, including seat numbers. Once ticketed, the ticket numbers will appear, and once ticketed, the confirmation number will appear. Then we've got our hotel, our checkout date, and our return flight. And then directly below, we've got our pricing table, which includes our fare, airfare, our planning fee, our service fee for the 24/7 support, and the hotel, which is listed in euros, and it's a guarantee. It should be a guarantee rate. We'll find out in just one moment. If you opted to include that client payment link, this is what it would look like, and it is a guarantee rate. So here we see services that are payable, and your clients can even view the details of their flight to make sure it is the one that they wanted. All of these are going to be charged today. On the right, we see services requiring the credit card for guarantee, and they can view the details of their stay and the cancellation policy. The card will not be charged for this stay. This is just providing the card details for guarantee. They will enter their own credit card details. If you have populated their billing address, they can use that on file. Then they will proceed to the confirmation and payment screen, and they'll be able to access their confirmation document. If you choose to use the client payment link, you will get a notification, client access payment link and payment succeeded, client access payment link and payment failed. If you choose to white glove it and provide the credit card details to the supplier on behalf of your client, you would click on ticket or book on either service. We're just waiting for that to flow through. Come on. There it is. So I'm going to click on ticket flight. I will not be paying for this flight because my husband will be very angry with me. But we are going to click on ticket. Again, we see the services that we can include. So we're going to go ahead and include that hotel, include the air planning fee, and include the 24/7. We see that the card will not be charged. Services that are going to be paid will be the flight and the service fees. And then the credit card will be passed through to the hotel for guarantee. And again, you would enter your client's credit card details and populate their billing details. You do have the ability to split payments for flights and for hotels. So we can click this add payment method and we can choose this flight. One second. We would uncheck Mrs. Smith on the first card and check Mrs. Smith on the second card. And then we could even go a step forward and say, I want the hotel to be on a third credit card for guarantee. This power only rests with you. The clients don't have this ability. So if your client says, hey, I want to use a couple different credit cards, how do I do that? You tell them, well, I can put the two tickets on two different cards and we can separate out the hotel as well if you want, but it's only a guarantee. You let me know how you want to go and then we'll proceed from there. And then you'll work directly with them to do that. Are there any questions? Please ask me questions. Okay. Support. If you require support for flights in ADX, you do have to make sure that that flight is either in this booked status with the purple badge or ticketed. It will say ticketed and be green. As long as it's in one of those two statuses, you can click on the Ask Air Support and you can type in your question and send it over to the air support team. They do triage all of their requests and they do work off of departure date. But if you've got a looming ticketing deadline, you can pop that in there and they will see that and they'll be able to support you. All email-based support is free of charge. If you have an urgent request and you're not sure of if it'll be answered via the email in the allotted time that you have, please call the team. There is a $35 fee for all calls to the team, regardless of what time of day that call is made. That $35 charge is added to the agent statement monthly and will be taken out of any earned commission. But we do encourage, if you do feel your request is urgent or your need is urgent, please pick up the phone and call the team. If it's something that we can try to waive the fee on, maybe ADX is experiencing a technical issue, you just reach out either to the air team or to me, and I can review that and find out if we can get that fee waived. I'm not guaranteeing that, but we can look at each on a case-by-case basis. But please don't let the fee stop you from calling. If you choose not to include the 24/7 fee, you can uncheck it manually, or you can toggle it off per itinerary. For ADX technical support, please click on your name in the top right corner, click on ADX support, and then you'll pop in your details in the box and let the team know what your issue is. This is the speediest air training that I've ever had, so please ask me questions.
Agents, do you guys have any questions for Ms. Beth? All right, if you guys don't have any questions, I do. Beth, how do you guys handle groups? Is it possible to do groups this way?
The maximum number of people you can apply to a PNR in ADX is 9. That's the typical size, that's just short of a real group. If you're looking for a group rate or a group contract or anything like that, you do want to go directly with the airline and manage that with them. But the maximum number of people you can have on a single PNR is 9. That's not to say you can't have more than one air service on a reference. So if you do have a group of people traveling together and they're okay with you putting it on a single itinerary document, then you could put, 9 on a reference and then 9 excuse me, 9 on a PNR, 9 on a PNR. This is what we call a hidden group. Airlines don't necessarily like that, but they're not really breaking any rules because the maximum number of people that you can do on a PNR is 9.
Have you ever heard, Beth, that if you book, this is something recently that I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but it came from a legit source. They were saying that if you book 10 or more people on a flight in general, different PNRs, but you guys are going to, let's say, the same location, and let's say you guys had all on the same family shirt or something like that, but it was 10 or more people that, you could get in trouble for booking a group, but not having the same PNR, the same itinerary number, or, all tagged, or contracted, group. Have you ever heard anything like that?
I wouldn't necessarily say you can get in trouble. Like I said, the airlines don't necessarily like that. I don't think there's any, I am not an air expert, but I don't believe there is a specific rule out there in the industry that says if you have 10 or more, you must have a group contract. Um, I do because they're traveling from all different places, right? So it's not necessarily a group. Yes, that they're traveling for the same purpose, but I don't believe you can get in trouble. I can ask somebody who is an air expert.
Yeah,
Air.
someone said that you can get like they can boot you off the flight, that they can kick you off the flight. I'm like, what? Yeah.
I don't believe that is true because let's put it this way. Let's say you have this family, it's family reunion, and
Mhm.
you don't put the 9 people on a same PNR. Let's say you put 5 people on a PNR because they're traveling together, they're a family, and then you put the other family members, 3 people, right? My family is three. It's a perfect example of my family. I have an aunt and uncle. It's just the two of them. They're going to travel from Brooklyn to the Dominican Republic. Then you have my family. There's 3 of us. We're going to travel from Brooklyn to the Dominican Republic. But we're going to be on 2 separate PNRs because they're leaving a day early and we're leaving the day after them. But we're all going to the same place, right? That is a group. That's technically a group travel, right? Then we've got
Mhm.
cousins. They're all doing the same thing, flying from Philly, flying from Denver, but they're like 4 and 3 and 2. Technically, they're a group. They're all traveling to the same location for the same purpose, but
Yeah.
maybe some of us travel on different days, or maybe some of us travel on the same days, right? My aunt and uncle are on their PNR because they're traveling in business, and the 3 of us are on our own PNR because we're traveling in economy because we're poor. And we're going to go all out of JFK, and maybe I have a couple cousins who are going to join me out of JFK, and we somehow make a group of 10, and we're all wearing the same shirt. The airline is not going to boot us off the plane. We have paid tickets. That's not going to happen. Where the danger comes in is to you as the advisor. If you start to build hidden groups, potentially the airline could say, we see this as a group. We're going to ding you a little bit with that debit memo. Um, it's a very minimal risk, I believe. But again, I'm going to double check with an air expert. Can you get in trouble for booking a hidden group? And what trouble? What trouble? I don't think your clients are going to get booted from the plane. That sounds a little bit severe.
Yep. They said that they can kick you off the flight depending on the flight attendant. You can get kicked off the flight, and it's like, wow, that's pretty extreme, you know.
That seems very extreme, and I would double check that source, but I will ask the same question.
Thank you.
Um, Group get kicked off plane. Okay, next
Thank-
question.
Let me check the chat.
I don't see anything. You guys are very quiet.
Very quiet today. All right.
All right.
Well,
I am going to stop sharing, but I do want to double check something before I leave you. So give me 4 seconds. I'm going to get rid of that and pull up. Okay, going back to January, I just wanted to take a look. In March, we did have a couple of you looking at ADX, and we did have somebody booking in March, so yay. So again, I do encourage you to test it out, do play with the tool, do your quotes, do your bookings for air. Um, if you're going to book a hotel, just double check your cancellation policies and do start to get comfortable. I would love to see a little bit more from you guys in the months to come because like I said, our job is to make it easier for you, but we want to increase what you're earning. And as you saw, 10% on a premium economy for 2 people at $4,900, yes, it seems pricey, but if they're going to spend some time, a week in Milan, then it's probably okay with them. Now, your domestic, I don't know how to pronounce this name. Twanes? Did I say it right?
oh, 20. Yep, 20s.
Yes, I was so close. 20s. Um, I love that you've been quoting out of it. I want to see some bookings. Go ahead and convert those. If you have some domestic bookings, you can put those through ADX as well. And remember to charge your fees. You are worth something. Charge your fees. That's my soapbox. All right. Tyra, anything else from you?
I don't have anything. I have a quick question. So, once upon a time, we did a webinar on the cruising part inside of ADX, but when I logged in, nothing was clickable for me as far as I don't know how to describe it. It was something on cruise. Well, we were able to click on cruise and just, explore. And Miss 20 said me either. But I've actually seen an agent like actually go in. Like we're on her screen and she was actually able to go in, click on cruise, just play around with it. I see that
Okay.
there's like insurance options and stuff like that. How do we get that stuff unlocked?
We are going to take a quick pause while I have you on the phone. I'm going to go take a look at your permissions, admin
Thank you.
screen. We're going to pull up Tyra A-N-D. No, I spelled it wrong. A-N-D. There you are. Oh my God, you have three profiles. That's no good. Um, I don't understand why you have three profiles, so
I
we're gonna
don't
have to do this a
understand.
different way. This
You info at mommy and we travels. That's probably the profile
I
that I want
actually can't see
to
emails
try.
from my screen, but we're gonna look at um your profile. While I'm waiting for this to load, Melanie, that's a great question. She wants to know, do you put the agent fee in at the end on ADX? You can actually do it at any point in time. You can add the service fee in your account as a default, as either suggested or automatically added to the itinerary. Or as you build your itinerary, you can add it in right after you do the air or right after you do the hotel. You just click on that service fee tab, and then go through that and add it there. I've changed screens, so I can't share my screen right now. But if you, we do have 15 minutes together. So as soon as this loads and I get them, Tyra's questions answered, I can share my screen again and show you how to do the service fee. Any questions while we got 15 minutes together, please ask me your questions,
Let me see.
please. Just give me 2 seconds to let this load and I'll have that question answered for you, Tyra.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Come on. LM, LM. Is there commission for flight only? No. You can also get commission on hotel. And actually, a perk to the agency is if you book your commission in if you book your hotel in ADX, the hotels are actually 100% commissionable to the agency, whereas the flights have a small fee taken out of the commission. So another great question, Melanie. Okay, I see. Oh, one of your profiles, Tyra, the one you must be using, has cruise not enabled. So I'm just going to check that off for you.
Thank you. And then how are once agents are in, once upon a time, I had to go in and I had to approve the agents as they come in. Now they're having a hard time getting in. They have to, reset, click the button to send the link and then wait for the link and just like jump through a lot of hoops. Is there a easier way to register the agents for the new portal with Ensemble?
Um, at this time, there is not. You would
Oh,
have to just add them into the portal. I know that there's been a couple of technical bugs. If anybody is having an issue, you can send them over to Amanda or to myself, and we'll get them to the right team. I don't want you to have to jump through hoops on your own. I will double check the permissions for the agency Tyra. It's taking a little bit of time, and
thank
I
you.
will make sure that everybody is enabled to see this cruise button and be able to click on it.
Thank you.
You can't book. It is still just a cruise search. Booking will come later this year.
Okay, perfect.
And then Michelle, right? Not Michelle. No, Melanie. In answer to your question, I'm just going to view the one that we just did. We're going to take a look at that Westin Palace, which is the hotel that I quoted. We're going to click on the payment screen and we're going to see, oh, it is commissionable. It was a commissionable rate, but it should display here. Why is it not displaying here? It's at 10% on there. So most hotels are between, you might see 8. That's the lowest possible option. Most of them are between 10 and 14. This was an ensemble preferred rate, so it will be, it should be 10%, and I'm not sure why. Oh, it's varies. If it says varies like this, it is commissionable. I did think I saw 10, but that must have been on the other one. It is a commissionable rate. You just won't know what the commission is until Ensemble receives payment. When this happens, it's generally due to the hotel having different levels and not providing details on it. But again, you'll see anywhere from 10 to 12 to 14% commission. And again, the agency commission is 100%. And then in answer to your service fee, there's a service fee tab right here. You can, I have one set in my account that is defaulted to be included in all itineraries, but you can add your own, a planning fee, a custom fee, a change fee, and you can toggle that on and off as your heart desires.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you.
Does ADX Cruise include Carnival Cruise? When it is bookable, I believe it will include Carnival. For right now, the search does include Carnival, and you can use it to do research and explore the itineraries that are available. And yes, Michelle, the fees are charged separately. They are on the credit card statement as Ensemble, whereas the air would be the airline and the hotel would be the hotel if it's a prepaid hotel. Amazing questions, guys. 20, we are not able to do group bookings at this time. The Ensemble itself doesn't have a hotel or an air desk. I hear talk that there could be a potential hotel desk. I don't know when or what or how or why or any of those, but I hear talk that there may be. For right now, you would reach out directly to the hotel or directly to the airline and negotiate those group rates or contracts directly with the hotel or airline. Same thing with cruise. You would reach out directly to the cruise and negotiate those, do those cruise group bookings. And you'd want to do that directly with the cruise line now anyway for those tour conductor credits and so forth. As of right now, I don't believe we have a cruise group desk either. You can book into, this is scary, I'm wandering away into ensemble territory, but you can book into ensemble headquarter groups through some cruise lines, where you're booking into a group with a set rate that already exists. There are some amenities that come along with that. Tour conductor credits, I'm not sure how that works. Those are questions for Amanda. She would be able to talk to that, but you would be booking into a group rate that already exists. Absolutely. All right, everybody. If there's any more questions, I'm happy to take them. Super quick, I'm just going to display the Ensemble portal page again. I'm clicking on Ensemble on the left-hand side, and then the Ensemble Contacts tab. I am under Member Relations. It's alphabetical, so you've got Amanda and me right next to each other. Just a reminder, Amanda is your Member Relations Director. She's responsible for all things Ensemble, can answer questions about preferred partners, contracts, commission, programs, things like that. And I am dedicated to ADX. And any questions you have, please feel free to reach out directly. Just a note that Amanda is traveling for Skyline Chicago this week. So she might be a little bit delayed in her responses during that time. And then again, I hope to see some of you at Atlantic City or Fort Lauderdale.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Beth. Can't wait for the next webinar.
My absolute pleasure, Tyra. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a great rest of your week.
All right. Thank you.